Guys, Twice is a problem. Horikoshi has absolutely gone above and beyond to turn this one silly villain into one of the most catastrophic threats facing society today. And so in recognizing these changes to his character, I figure it's as good a time as any to ask the question of how strong is Twice? Now, what really makes Twice so fearsome would have to be, of course, his quirk double. And to be fair, it has always been a broken ability, but because Twice had been mentally broken by it in the past and was traumatized, he then placed certain limitations and parameters around his power that, for the most part, kept him in check. But having now overcome his PTSD, Twice has gone on to become one of the most dangerous assets the villains have going for them, as support from his quirk alone could swiftly topple nations. The quirk double allows Twice to create duplicates of 2 from anything he so chooses, and so although we for the most part usually see him only replicate people, he can actually do this to just about anything, even inanimate objects. At the same time, there is a limitation that he needs both a clear image in his head of the desired creation and data on them such as precise measurements. But even still, by that logic alone, when it comes to objects, Twice possesses a pseudo version of Momo's creation quirk, wherein he is only able to create fragile knockoffs. So maybe his object-based duplications wouldn't always be ideal due to their fragility, but with certain things, it doesn't matter how durable they are. And if it came down to heists or making deals with his ability, fakes could easily be produced and fool most people. I mean, even the people handling the deal could be duplicates. And speaking of people, when it comes to the duplication of self and others, Twice by far has the best clone ability in this series. Because his duplicates are capable of possessing quirks with the support of others, this quirk can lead to unimaginable possibilities. And although the durability of said clones degrades with each preceding replicate, there doesn't seem to be a finite amount that may persist at once. And it takes nothing from Twice to use his quirk. I mean, he doesn't even feel the slightest bit of fatigue from it. So with a variety of allies at his disposal, Twice is easily a nation-level threat, if not a planetary one, depending on who he aligns himself with. The possibilities are truly infinite. But if it comes down to him alone, you're dealing with a threat that would be incredibly difficult to quell, because Twice is able to replicate himself faster than anything else. And once again, because his clones are able to possess quirks, any copies of himself would also have the double quirk, allowing them to make duplicates of themselves, making their mass production increase in speed with each passing moment. And so in a matter of seconds, you could be facing hundreds, then thousands of him just like that. Now, Twice is a pretty skilled acrobat, but hasn't exactly shown in the department of hand-to-hand combat. But that doesn't really matter when he can come at you in infinite droves. I mean, the guy could have the fighting capabilities of a 4-year-old and would still win out against just about anyone if he swarmed them enough. And in not caring about their own destruction, could literally be launched as projectiles and level entire buildings, proceeding to topple whole cities soon after, and be pretty much like a zombie apocalypse where all the zombies are smart and tell stupid jokes. But darting back to his replication of others, there is another limitation of his, that said replicates would only be able to recall memories up to their last interaction with Twice himself, meaning Twice would need to have actually met with any potential muse before making a copy of them. But although this may be seen as a limitation, could actually be manipulated for his benefit. For example, if he managed to get his measurements at the time, Twice could, in theory, create a copy of Bakugo and run the same situation back again and again until a way to convert him was made clear. And if allies were ever made and fell through, so long as Twice wasn't present for the breakup, he could create a copy of them that has no idea things fell through. Now, Twice is a pretty friendly guy, and with that in mind, he kind of has to be on agreeable or friendly terms with any candidates of duplication to be able to properly use them. and seeing as how he doesn't have a way of instantaneously destroying them, would need to be careful in his decision making. Now, two slightly unorthodox uses of his quirk I've considered would be firstly as a detection tool. Because Twice is able to detect the destruction of that which he may duplicate, he could in theory position them strategically as a way of recognizing incoming threats. It could be a fragile doorknob, floor mat, light switch, whatever, all of which being able to function as alarms. Next up, they could be used as a muddy trap, as when his duplicates are destroyed, they leave behind a goopy mess. So if enough of them were to be destroyed, over time an opponent would be left in a sea of muddy goop, making it pretty hard to move onwards. Now, to be real with you, Twice is kinda unstoppable unless you're able to defeat the original him. I mean, not even Eraserhead's Erasure quirk could outright destroy a clone. And because of the versatile functionality of his quirk, if he really wanted to, Twice could limit his interactions with others and remain safe that way. But arguably, his biggest weakness would have to be his big heart. Twice is a really nice guy, and despite being a villain himself, doesn't really assume wrongdoing on the part of others, which at times may leave him quite vulnerable. But seeing as how he can replicate himself so fast, I'd imagine only so many people would be able to handle him even if they did manage to locate the source. The clones Twice creates aren't exactly ideal when it comes to information gathering on their own, as with their destruction also comes the destruction of any gathered intel, but once again, seeing as how he can duplicate inanimate objects, he could certainly equip them with communication devices if he so pleased. All in all, Twice, by far, has one of the most versatile and potentially dangerous quirks in the series, and despite him being a pretty plain guy himself, is enough to make him one of the strongest characters we have. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, let us know if you'd like to see more strength checks from us in the future, and who exactly you'd like us to cover in the next one. And at that, be sure to subscribe to the channel and support us on our way to 50K. Because when it comes to bringing you some of the best My Hero Academia content on the platform, Plot Armor has you covered. As always, I am Sliceable Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.